Welcome to VoteProPot-Cast, the award-winning cannabis news podcast brought to you by VoteProPot.com.
Well, hello again, everyone, and welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Today is indeed a special episode of VoteProPot-Cast, as Jay and I are thrilled and excited and oh so grateful to have with us once again our good friend, colleague, and founder of VoteProPot. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, pre-ops and post-ops, please welcome the miracle man, the comeback kid himself, Mr. Andrew Makrides.
Yeah, all right.
How you feeling, bud? How you feeling?
Welcome back, Drew.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
All right, good to have you back.
Been predisposed for the last 6 months. I was in the hospital.
You look
6 months.
You look handsome as ever.
You can call me Caitlin now. No, I'm kidding. No, I didn't mean to offend anybody there.
You haven't been reassigned?
I had a problem with my leg, and what turned out to be one surgery and 2 weeks in the hospital to end up being 4 surgeries and over 5 months in the hospital.
Yeah. And
it was brutal.
And brutal months, yes.
Yeah, and these two guys, man, were there for me, and they drove me to doctor's appointments, and you guys are really, I couldn't have done it without you.
Jay gave him sponge baths, and I mean, it was beautiful.
I did. We'd each do it for each other.
Right.
No question.
Yes, we would. Well,
we're welcome to have you. It's great to have you back.
Good to see you back. Good to see you back in men's clothing.
And while I was away, a dispensary opened a quarter mile away from my house.
Yeah,
you lucky bastard.
Right. And
not bad.
A week after I got out of the hospital, I moved.
Yeah. Damn it.
Well, just my luck. Just my luck.
Well. It's good to see. So, should we call you Andrea now instead of Andrea?
No. Caitlin works.
Okay.
No.
Caitlin.
No, I'm joking. No, I just one leg's a little shorter than the other.
Yeah,
Actually, now I'm still in physical therapy. I got to learn to walk again, but
Yeah. But you're getting around pretty well. Last time I saw you.
Yeah. I can get around okay for a short distance.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll take it. Beats the alternative.
Well, because at one point
we all remember
they were planning on amputating my leg.
Yes, they were.
Yep.
And literally a couple days before, you ran into a surgeon from Hopkins who did a surgery.
Tops in his field.
Yep. The top of the field. Said, yeah.
Enough said,
and
man.
He said,
Glad to have you
he
back.
said, why are you cutting your leg off? He said, well, the other kids are doing it.
Well, if the other kids cut both their legs off, would you?
Well, while you were in there, you should have got a nose job, bro. I'm just saying. What the hell?
Nah.
But I'll tell you what, I have a new respect for nurses. Yeah. And I love me some nurses. They're just wonderful.
Yeah.
And the physical therapists, too, are pretty cool, too. I got to give them.
That's nice.
And the one I have now, man, is just, over the top. It's great. Absolutely great. Jeez,
Kicking your butt?
Yeah, they do. Look, and considering, you would have no problem with it, but I'm feeling pain and soreness.
Right.
But
well, I see a bottle of Grand Marnier behind you there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That'll help.
And a bottle of Grey Goose and a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
That's
for
me,
right?
right?
I told myself in the hospital, I said, if I ever get out of here, I'm going to start drinking again. I barely drank in the last 10 years.
Didn't, really.
I really haven't.
You really didn't.
One time I drank was with you guys.
You're right. Well,
you guys drive me to fucking drink.
Yeah, well, like we said, we're going to be there for you always.
Yeah, gee, thanks.
All right, you guys want to do some weed news?
Yeah. What do you got, Jay? Start us off, brother.
You want me to start? Well, let's talk about Connecticut. Connecticut officially legalized recreational adult use this week, right? So that's a cool thing. Right on.
They're still a state, right?
That's great.
They're still a state. Yes, they are. After years of flirting with marijuana legalization, the state of Connecticut is finally ready to make it official. Today, and this was this week, the state's governor, Ned Lamont, signed legislation that legalized recreational pot use for adults 21 and over. The law will officially take effect on July 1st. However, retail sales aren't expected to begin until 2023. 2022. We all know that takes a while to get all the ducks in a row and so forth. But that's.
But does that mean if someone gets pulled over and they find weed on them, that's like, have a nice day?
That's a good question. I think as of July 1st, it's legal. So yeah, if you have it in your possession up to an ounce or something, I think it's okay. I think I read that.
Right.
Lawmakers in the state Thursday approved legislation. Blah blah blah. The vote marked the second time that members of the state Senate passed the legalization measure. Last week, another bill was approved in the chamber before it was amended by the state house and returned to the Senate, and the governor signed it. The House passed it 16-11, so it wasn't a slam dunk necessarily.
No.
You know. So anyway, welcome aboard, Connecticut. Let's see what the bill says.
Well, another state takes effect on July 1st too. Your home state of Virginia.
Right. That's right. July 1st.
It got passed a while back, but it takes effect next week.
It takes effect. Yep, and we can grow.
No, you know what that means?
And I'll be down in Richmond, so cool.
That means, since you own your house, you can set up on your front porch and smoke a fucking joint, do bong hits, and wave hello to your neighbors.
Right, and they can't do shit about it.
Especially the
gonna
cop.
be weird.
Hey,
Yeah,
officer.
Right. I do have a cop across the street from me, and he's very anti-cannabis. So
yeah, well,
really?
Too damn bad.
yeah.
He doesn't have to have your more for you.
Was that why he was giving me dirty looks when I was setting off my big pen at your party?
I know he did. He was like, "What's going on here?
I ain't smoking. I'm never vaping it."
Yeah, but back then it wasn't legal. So, but yeah, we're all good. So that's the news. That's the state.
It
update.
was in Maryland, as far as I was concerned.
Yeah, right. It was close enough. So that's the state news for Connecticut. Congratulations, Connecticut. What do you got, Phil?
Well, I do the correspondence for We Talk News every week, and I cover the DC, what's going on inside the Beltway, and
splendidly, I might add.
Well, thank you. And I'm going to do another one this week, obviously. And one of the things we're covering is there's a lot of back and forth between congressional Democrats who control both houses of Congress now, and the Biden administration. Now, Biden ran on a platform of decriminalizing, rescheduling cannabis and expunging. And so far, they haven't done anything to implement any of those promises. But more to the point, one of the things that he keeps pressing up against is legalization, and as well as implementing a cannabis market in Washington, D.C. Now, cannabis is legal in the District of Columbia, but only very limited, and there's you can't sell it, and you can grow it, and there's a whole bunch of
possess it.
You can have some, yeah, you can smoke it.
You can share with your friends,
but you can't have a dispensary, and you can't sell it. So the House Democrats are trying to lift that ban, and they keep running into President Joe Biden, who keeps blocking it.
How does he do that? Because basically the United States Congress is like the governor to the city of D.C. Since there is no governor.
How does he block it? That's
well,
because
it's up to the House, not the.
Well, I think it's a matter of I could be wrong, but I think it still has to be a matter of legislation, and he still has to sign the legislation. I'm not sure exactly how that works.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. That's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
But despite Biden, pretty specifically maintaining a rider in the law barring D.C. from using its tax dollars to legalize marijuana sales in the budget. The House Appropriations, Financial Services and General Government Subcommittee, their chairman is Mike Quigley, a Democrat from Illinois. He wants to remove that barrier. He's put up a proposal which covers annual funding for various federal agencies and also contains language that would protect banks, there's the banking aspect of it again, from being penalized for federal regulators just for working with cannabis companies in accordance with state laws. Biden's budget request really didn't say anything about that. He hasn't commented on a standalone legislation that actually cleared the House again. But excluding the D.C. Provision from the fiscal year 22 bill, appropriations bill, and that's going to be voted on in subcommittee this week. They're going to be taken up with the full appropriations committee, and then it goes to the floor. But he just, Biden keeps basically stiff-arming advocates and declining to take any meaningful action on cannabis reform as he promised. And his inclusion of this D.C. rider in the budget, they're seeing this as an overt hostile act. So he is running into resistance not only from the subcommittee, but from a district mayor, whose name eludes me at the moment. And there's also DC has a delegate, Eleanor Holmes Norton. She's been the DC non-voting delegate for as long as I can remember. Yeah. Says she's, quote, very disappointed over the decision, and especially considering that, he's actually voiced his support for DC statehood, which probably is never going to happen, but you never know. So there's a lot of back and forth between the administration and congressional Democrats who just want to make it, legal to sell what is already legal to have in the District of Columbia. And I think, frankly, Biden's being intransigent about it for whatever reasons, and he has his reasons, I'm sure, but he's just, giving them the big heave-ho every time.
Well, I know Mayor Bowser is 100% in favor.
Bowser, that's the name I couldn't come up with. Right.
She's 100% in favor of setting up a legal industry.
And why not? Because, the DC could use the tax revenues.
I agree. But one thing I think, I do not believe that DC, I don't know if they could keep up with the market.
Why do you say that?
Because it has to be vertically integrated inside the city. And where are they going to fucking grow it? How many square feet of warehouse space they're going to need?
That's true.
Expensive warehouse space. How much warehouse space is even in DC?
Yeah, well, there's a lot, but it would be prohibitively expensive. The prices are obviously...
it could be done. There is room to do it, but the point is, Jay, you're right. It's too damned expensive, and I think you're right, Andrew. It's the vertical integration aspect is going to be a big lift. It could be done, but
I know that the medical dispensaries in DC have a problem sometimes keeping flour on the shelves.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw I'm looking online here, guys, while you were talking. I saw something today. A question was asked by the press to Jen Paske in the last couple days about if he's changed his stance, because this came up, obviously. And she said, no, I can't find the quote right now, but her answer was that the president has not changed his stance on cannabis legalization. That's all.
What was his stance?
His stance is he believes in decriminalization and rescheduling
or descheduling?
Rescheduling
to Schedule 2.
And that's
so you fucking
always
kidding
been
me?
it's always been
cocaine, but you can buy it at a medical dispensary. Yeah.
He wants to reschedule to a 2. So anyway, that's what it is. We'll see what happens, but that's where it stands, and it doesn't look like he's going to change his mind on it anytime soon. Luckily, a lot of people around him feel otherwise, but I think Phil's right. I think Congress can pass a law regarding DC, but the president still has to sign the law because it's still the United States Congress. I have a celebrity update.
All right.
Well, if you want to call this guy a celebrity. All right. Remember, I remember. Okay, I'm going to back up here. Remember Joe Exotic? That Tiger show.
Oh man,
I called Andrew. I don't know, last year.
He's a strange-looking dude.
He's a weird dude, man. So that show was on, and my wife and I watched it and got sucked into it. And I said, "These are the weirdest."
You called me and said, "Watch it." I watched one episode. It was like, what the hell? I mean, this is like painful to watch this thing, man.
Keep watching it. These people are so, and it's not just Joe. The whole clan was just
even though the most reasonable one is still outrageous.
I know, really. So Joe Exotic is planning to launch his own cannabis brand called Joe Exotic Cannabis. That's clever, right? Where did he come up with that?
I don't know, man.
In a partnership with Tango Hotel Charlie Group LLC and CanX Ltd Limited, I guess. This is all according to TMZ, so it has to be true. Right? And he's the guy that did the Tiger King Murder, Mayhem, and Madness, which was a huge success on Netflix. I mean, they had no idea that thing was going to blow up the way it did, but holy crap, the ratings on that thing were unbelievable.
Wasn't it because of this show is the reason he's in jail now? Had that show not been on the air? The reason he's in
jail is because he tried to kill somebody or hire somebody to kill somebody. But yes.
See, I missed all of this stuff.
You didn't watch any of that, Phil?
I'm not watching that stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But anyway.
I mean, upon your recommendation, honestly.
Phil isn't very cultural. Phil, it's not very cultural.
Yeah, that's some pretty snooty stuff right here.
Well, I lift my pinky when I hold my glass. That's culture.
Joe Exotic has been working on a deal from prison where he was serving 22 years in federal sentence for plotting a murder against Carol Baskin. She was as nutty as he was.
Fucking Carol fucking Baskin.
Right. Let's see. According to the report, the line will include CBD edibles and will be rolled out in California, Colorado, and Exotic's former home state of Oklahoma. His attorney, Brad Small, told TMZ that he expects the launch to happen within weeks. Now, supposedly, this Exotic guy, he's 58. His real name is Joseph Maldonado Passage. And supposedly, he launched a clothing brand, I guess last year while he was in prison, and it sold out. It sold out in like minutes. He sold $20,000.
See, that pisses me off, man.
I know, that's really messed up, man. And not only that, this guy's Exotic sought a pardon from President Donald Trump before Trump left office. He wanted a pardon. He got nixed on that.
Yeah, he did. I don't think so.
He was too crazy for even Trump.
He's scheduled for release in 2037. So keep your eyes out in California and Oklahoma and wherever the hell else, Colorado, for some Joe Exotic CBD. I guess it's all CBD. That's what it says here, but cannabis weed. So I don't know. Is he a celebrity? I'm not sure.
Well,
maybe in someone's eyes. In his own eyes, I suppose. Yeah.
You know what? Anyone who can launch a clothing line from prison and sell it out in a day is a damn celebrity.
What'd you say, Jay? He did $20,000 in sales?
20 grand in
But that's
minutes.
only $1,020 item. I mean, that's not really a clothing line as much as like I made some t-shirts and sold them online. You know?
Yeah, no, he pulled it off the clothesline, I think is what it
would have pulled
it off somebody's clothesline.
You know, but you guys, we stay on top of this shit because we put all these articles and stuff on our Facebook and LinkedIn and all our other pages. And I mean, it's getting to where I really can't do celebrity stuff anymore because it's easier to do a story on a celebrity that doesn't have a line of weed stuff. I mean, really, it's getting to that point. It really is. I mean, everybody's jumping on the bandwagon. So it's just, that's where the money is going to be in the next few years. Andrew, you're back. We haven't been here in months, 6 months, 5 months, whatever it is. Have you been keeping up with weed news? You know what's going on and anything you want to add?
Yeah, I've been trying, but I mean, I've felt
to the mix.
Some of that time I was a little out of it.
Yeah, I know. But I know. But I'm just wondering your thoughts.
Actually, my thoughts are I was thinking about Vote Pro Pot.
Well, you know, it's been 3 years, bro.
Just since the podcast, right? And it's been 7 years, 8 years,
8 years, yeah,
8 years since I started Vote Pro Pot.
Right.
And when I first started, there was a need for trying to advocate people to get more involved in the legalization of cannabis, whether it be the medical or the adult use. So, and now it's sort of to the point of, well, it's not if they're going to legalize it, but when. It's legal. Medical is booming in Oklahoma. It's only a matter of time until the great majority of the country. Actually, already the majority of the country has medical marijuana available to them.
37 states now or something.
Yeah.
So you have seen some just incredible changes in the movement since you started the whole
thing. Yeah. But now what I'm thinking is not only is the industry now up and booming, starting to really thrive, but there is still a lot of political crossroads, of hurdles to jump. It's going to be, as a matter of fact, there's a lot. And the other thing is going to be, is we're going to see. So, by the time the last state legalizes, one of the first, Colorado and places like that, are going to be redoing their laws because they're going to become antiquated after. I believe
they're going to have to update them.
Right.
All the regs,
Yep.
Right. For a long time after alcohol prohibition, you couldn't have a still in your house. And even if you wanted to open up a legal distillery, it was, really painful and expensive.
Is that right?
Yeah. But it was only in the last 20 years as they said, you can have,
that's true.
You can have your own stills. And now they're having like micro distilleries opening up and
brew your own beer.
Yeah. Brew your own
wine.
Yeah, you're right, Andrew. It wasn't until the last really 20 years or maybe less that states started allowing individuals or individual companies, LLCs,
small businesses to get into the industry.
To make gin and vodka and to distill.
It's like a
liquor.
microbrewery, but they're micro distilleries.
Yeah, that is a very new trend.
So I think the marijuana industry is going to find that. So one day it's going to be anybody can fucking grow it and sell it to whoever the fuck they want.
Yeah, it'd be like growing tomatoes in your backyard.
Yeah, if you want to, open up a little, hash bar and grow it yourself, go for it.
Yeah, right. It's not a big deal.
So, Andrew, you were asking me what I was drinking, and this is a concoction I discovered while I was traveling in Spain a couple years back, and it's called Tinto de Verano, which is Spanish for summer wine, and it's basically, it's kind of almost like a sangria. You get a nice kind of a fruity Spanish wine. You mix it 50-50 with lemon lime soda. In Spain, the popular brand is Fanta. And Fanta. And
I think that's Fanta.
Yeah, and a splash of sweet vermouth. And it is such a refreshing summertime drink. I recommend it to anybody who likes it.
Wow, that sounds good. I tried it at your house. You had it in a big pitcher one time. It was freaking delicious.
Delicious. And
I liked it much better than sangria, personally.
Yeah.
It was more refreshing to me, but anyway. Yeah.
So
the thing about sangria, there's a million freaking recipes for it. And every time you go to some party, it's a new.
Right. You can have white wine sangria, red wine sangria, which is, getting pretty popular. But
then you got your redneck tang sangria.
You guys into ice cream?
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the new craze now, apparently.
Infused ice cream?
Yeah, because you can infuse the milk
in any kind of oil milk.
And then make ice cream with it.
Wow.
Or the cream, I should say.
I'm looking at an article on Mass Live by Melissa Hansen. There's a company called Cloud Creamery, and they just received notice from the Massachusetts State Cannabis Control Commission last week that they're allowed to commence manufacturing and operations, and they're making a product line of ice creams. The product is starting to become available in dispensaries, including Bud's Goods and Provisions in Worcester, Western Front, and Chelsea.
Whoa, back up. In where?
In Worcester.
Worcester.
Okay, I'm not from Massachusetts, man.
Actually, if you were from Massachusetts, it would be Worcester, but it's Worcester.
Worcester?
It's Worcester.
All right. God, thanks for making me look like an idiot.
Yeah, well.
You edited to the show, Jay.
My buddy Jimmy Young would not...
he would not be happy with me
He would not forgive me if I let you get away with Worcester.
That's how it's spelled, man.
Yeah, Worcestershire sauce.
All right.
Wash your sister sauce.
It's also available at Western Front in Chelsea and Caroline's Cannabis and Uxbridge. Is that right?
I only say that because my dad is from Worcester.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I happen to know.
The company plans to gradually roll out the product to dozens of dispensaries. Cloud Creamery is starting with 3 flavors to include 2 ice creams, Tanzanian vanilla, dark chocolate truffle, and 1 sorbet called mango yuzu, which is dairy-free. So the Cloud Creamery ice cream comes in 8-ounce servings, which contain 5 milligrams of THC. So can you eat 8 ounces of ice cream in one sitting? I guess so, right?
Yeah, it's a cup. Yeah. Sure.
It's a cup.
Sure.
Okay, yeah, right. Yeah, I suppose you can. And that's 5 milligrams, so it's fairly low dose.
People eat quarts.
And they're selling that for about $8.
Yeah, but it's just ice cream. It's not love.
No, exactly. So $8 to $9 for 8 ounces of ice cream with 5 milligrams of THC. That'd be fun to sit and watch some Netflix and munch on a little ice cream, right? What the hell? So
me and ice cream go way. I don't think there's too many flavors of ice cream that I don't like.
I'm not a big ice cream person,
man.
you know. I'm not.
I could give up a lot of things before I'd want to give up ice cream. I love it.
Not me.
Especially this summer.
I like it, but I never really eat it.
I mean, I'll do like a ice cream sandwich or something.
I made a bat because I got one of those little Cuisinart ice cream makers. You know, you just keep the canister in the freezer and you take it out whenever you're ready, and it makes really pretty good. I made a batch of coffee ice cream last week. It's really good.
I made corn flavored ice cream.
Yeah, you keep pushing the corn flavored ice. I'm not going for that.
You know, so I made cinnamon flavored. I used to make cinnamon flavored ice cream a lot at this restaurant.
But corn?
Yeah.
Corn flavored ice cream?
Yeah, it sounds,
it's great. It's fucking awesome. It's great. I garnished it with caramel corn and candied peanuts.
All right. I'll try it. I'll try it. Let me know how the broccoli ice cream comes out.
Asparagus ice cream. Makes your pee smell weird. So how's it feel being back, big guy?
Feels good.
Is it weird? Is it? I mean,
it is weird.
Is it? Because you haven't been on in like months.
Oh, it's weird. Well, you know, though, it's weird.
We're the weird part, right? You're saying,
no,
is it us?
No, but it's strangely like riding a bike.
Yeah, jump right back in.
It was like we just did one last week.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good to hear.
So I'm trying to forget the last 6 months of my life, quite frankly.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, dude, it's great to have you back. You look good. You sound good. We're really, really glad to have you back.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you. It's good to be back, and I can't wait to see what we're going to do with VoteProPot in the future. I think we should. I think we're due for some changes, and we've been discussing some things, and I think our listeners will be hopefully happy and amused by our ideas.
I mean, I think. To touch on that for a minute, I feel like in some ways the cause has changed completely since we started doing this 3 years ago.
Yep.
And with that, I think sometimes some of the audience feels like it's not as important, which I disagree with for the most part.
Right. Well,
but in some ways they're right.
Well, it was, let's make marijuana legal. Now we've got to say, let's make good, let's make good marijuana laws. Reasonable, logical.
Right. Yeah.
Sensible.
You said it was not a matter of if, but when it's legal, but it's also a matter of how it becomes legal.
That's very true. Very true.
So we have a lot to talk about and a lot to do and a lot to cover, but some changes in format and we're discussing that and folks, we really want to hear from you. If there's things you want to hear, ideas that you would have, folks, we get a lot of folks who want to come on the show and we welcome them all. And so let us know how you feel. Go on to Apple Podcasts. Give us a review, maybe a 5-star rating if you feel inclined. Get in touch with us. Go to VoteProPot.com and send us a message and email us, right, Jay?
Send us an email at podcast@VoteProPot.com. And with what we're discussing now, let us know what you think about how we might mix up the format a little bit. Maybe even cover some subjects that aren't necessarily weed related.
Yeah, psychedelics. They're starting to become in the news more and more. All kinds of things.
Phil, did you say check us out at Apple Podcasts? I thought you said Apple Podcast.
He's drinking that margarita.
I was going to swear you said apple pie. Okay. What is it that I said?
Maybe I did.
What do I say at this point?
Well, you say something to the effect of, we can't cover everything.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much going on in the world of cannabis. Actually, not so much anymore, but there is still something we can't cover it all here on our lovely little podcast, on our little dog and pony show here. But we do try to share a lot on social networking, from what I remember. And anyway, so you can please check us out at Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Just do a search for Vote Pro Pot.